In the world, there are 100 million people that doesn't know they have hepatitis C.
In Israel, it's around between, I would say, 60,000 patients to 100,000 patients in Israel with hepatitis C.
HCV is the leading cause for liver cirrhosis, primary liver cancer, and liver transplantation. And in some patients, the disease can be fatal if it's not being treated.
The hepatitis C doesn't pain. You don't feel it, you don't know it, you don't touch it. It's eating you from the inside.
Hepatitis C virus, or HCV, is a contagious liver disease which is spread primarily through contact with the blood of an infected person. So far, hepatitis C virus infection can last a lifetime and lead to fatal liver problems, including cirrhosis or liver cancer.
I was diagnosed when I was 21. I was diagnosed by accident because I needed to take pills that affect the liver. And my doctor said, well, we should check for liver disease and your liver condition. And that's how I was diagnosed.
All treatments had very, very hard side effects. Many people couldn't work. Many people get depression. There were some people that get divorced because of their treatments.
It was a very difficult treatment, lots of side effects, edginess, severe anemia, loss of hair, loss of appetite, really tired all the time. Nobody can really understand it until they are in this position.
Interferon was intolerable in many patients due to severe side effects, and the rate of treatment success was low.
I was suffering a lot in the second treatment, very, very suffering. Very pain, very something that I cannot talk about it. Very suffering.
We didn't have any policy of HCV screening in Israel. The number of patients that received antiviral therapy and responded to therapy was very small.
More than 150 million people worldwide are living with HCV. Most of them are not aware they are infected. Every day, up to 950 people are dying of HCV.
There is a risk of transmission as well in people who are not aware of the virus, and this also can be prevented by screening and treating these patients.
The system has been avoiding to tell the people that they have a contagious disease. And this is unmoral. We cannot permit this.
אתה צריך להתאים את התוכנית של עליית המודעות והסקר לאנשים שהם מאוד מתאימים לטיפול, כי אחרת אתה יוצא במצב שאנשים יודעים שיש להם לקריטריונים של הסל, ועכשיו הם יודעים גם שיש להם נגיף וגם שיש להם מחלה ולא מתאימים לטיפול.
הסכנה היא שמי שלא מטפל במחלה, לא רק שהוא פוגע בעצמו, הוא גם פוגע בקרובים שנמצאים לידו.
החולים, יש 100,000 איש שמסתובבים בינינו עם פצצה מתקתקת בתוך גופם, ואתם פה ממליצים להסתיר מהם את זה, לתת להם להדביק את המשפחה, לתת להם להדביק אחרים.
זה יכול להיות גם לחץ, דרך אגב. אם משרד ביטחון פנים רוצה להשיג עוד כסף מהאוצר, הוא יכול לבוא ולהגיד, תראו, יש לי כאן אוכלוסייה, כך וכך אחוזי, אני לא צוחקת, כך וכך. אם לא נדע, אם נטמון את הראש בחול, אז לא נצליח גם לנהל את המאבק.
מדוע המדינה לא דואגת לעדכן נשאים של נגיף ההפטיטיס, שעלול לגרום לחשל בכבד, כאשר בדיקה פשוטה וזולה יכולה לגלות את המחלה? כי 80,000 ישראלים הם נשאים של הנגיף, וטיפול מוקדם יכול להציל את חייהם.
I was 21 and very athlete when I was diagnosed. So I could have the treatment before I have kids, before I have family, before I risk anybody else except of me.
אני הייתי רוצה לדעת אם אחד מהאנשים שנמצאים פה ואומרים שלא צריך לעשות סקרינינג כי אין כסף לטיפול, שאם אחד מהקרובי משפחה שלהם, הבן או הבת, אם נמצא בקבוצת סיכון, אם הייתם מסתיר ממנו את העובדה שהוא בקבוצת סיכון. We demand to start screening immediately because the patient has the right to know and the government has the obligations to let them know.
In 2014, the appearance of new generation of antivirals developed by various pharmaceutical companies revolutionizes the paradigm of treatment and cure of hepatitis C worldwide, leaving behind the harsh side effects and low cure results of the past treatments.
I was very happy to hear about a new treatment. I take part of it, and after few weeks I was cured from the disease. Now it's very easy to fight and to win, and the way is very short now.
Well, the new treatment is a real breakthrough in terms that it gives us opportunity to eradicate the virus and to lower significantly the incidence of mortality and morbidity from hepatitis C, chronic liver disease, from hepatocellular carcinoma and decompensation of liver disease and the need of transplantation.
It's like day and night because with the new treatments we are continuing our life, our normal life, and we have the opportunity to be cured almost 100%.
Those who are at risk should be screened, and there's no questions that the treatment is easy, short, and effective.
We need to provide the patients the best treatment that we have. It's the benefit for the patients, for the family, for everybody. So this is the main issue in medicine, because we want to treat patients when we have a very good treatment.
There is no doubt about the benefits of the new treatments. However, the elevated costs of acquiring them required heads Israeli Association for the Health of the Liver to take action to implement a new strategy for the national plan, bringing together international health experts with the Ministry of Health.
We were with the Ministry of Health talking about different ideas about screening and some other ideas related to the recommendations of the WHO. But nothing was concrete. So I invited Dr. Bengoa, and he gave us tools, concrete tools, that was the point that permit us to develop a real national plan.
The collaboration contributed enormously in reaching a consensus that a national plan is required for controlling hepatitis C in Israel.
קודם כל, אני פתחתי שדולה בכנסת, קבוצת חברים שתומכת בדיון ציבורי בסוגיית ההפטיטיס C, ואני חושב שזה אחד הדברים החשובים, כי בסוף המערכת הבריאות סופגת את כל ההוצאות, ופעולות מניעה הן חשובות כדי לחסוך בהוצאות הוצאות הבריאות.
I think that we are an example of a model how we joining forces with many stakeholders, physicians, patient organization, and key decision makers, we can reach a consensus, a national consensus, and we can reach a point where we can implement a national HCV screening program, and we can also introduce the new antiviral therapy into the countries.
During the meeting with Dr. Bengoa, I think we were successful in bringing the issue of the need of screening and defining new risk factors in Israel, and the Ministry of Health recognized this risk factor. They recognize the importance of treatment and the importance of lowering the medical problem or burden in the next years related to hepatitis C.
If they don't invest now in hepatitis C, the cost of taking care of the consequences of the hepatitis C will be much more higher than we can ever imagine.
With more than 100,000 people who are carriers of the virus, in 2015, Israel becomes one of the few countries in the world to identify hepatitis C as a top national health priority, dedicating a third of the national healthcare basket to reimbursement for treatment and putting HCV on the Parliament's public agenda by joining to the World Hepatitis Day.
2% מהאוכלוסייה הכללית הוא שיעור משמעותי ובעל השלכות רוחביות על מערכת הבריאות לאורך שנים רבות. על רקע מורכב זה, משרד הבריאות נרתם להוביל מאבק מורכב במחלה ובסיבוכיה הקשים בישראל.
The national plan includes 4 steps. The first is prevention of new HCV cases. The second is early detection, mainly by screening. The third is availability, meaning making the antiviral therapy available to all patients. And the fourth is reducing the mortality and morbidity that is related to chronic HCV infection.
Because the treatment is very expensive, it's not affordable for any hepatitis C patients. So the government decided to prioritize the patients who will receive hepatitis C to advance fibrosis, which means F3 and 4 in genotype 1. And this actually included 1/3 of the Israeli basket, which is something that never happened before.
And now we are reaching the first step of implementing a national screening HCV policy among the major risk groups. And the second achievement is that now we are treating patients with HCV and advanced disease with the new antiviral therapy.
Now in this year, we're trying to extend the indication to other genotypes and other indications like protease inhibitor failures, post-transplantation patients, extrahepatic manifestations, and other indications that we think the government should approve the treatment with interferon-free.
Basically, patients with decompensated cirrhotic, a patient who needs liver transplantation, will increase in the next 5 to 10 years, and then it will decrease if we don't do nothing. But we don't want to wait to get this to this point. We need to avoid it if we can do it. And we have now very good treatment, which is very cost effective, and we should go for it.
למעשה, המסלול הלא מובן מאליו של היכולת לזהות את החולים בתמונה ארצית כוללת, להכניסם לתוך מסלול מעקב קבוע, לעקוב אחריהם בצוות רב מקצועי תומך, לשלב את זה עם טיפול תרופתי חדשני מהדור האחרון, צפוי לחסוך למדינת ישראל כספים רבים.
Since then, more than 1,000 HCV patients have been cured in Israel. Thanks to a national strategic plan, new cases have been diagnosed and economic tools have been developed to facilitate screening and access to treatment. This intervention intends to contribute to global awareness around the disease and encourage additional countries in taking similar steps in planning ahead and dealing with this global health pandemic and its enormous economic implications, which are presumed to be revealed in the near future.
It has to be an overall plan which gathers sources from various ministries, supervised by the Ministry of Health and supported by the political system.
מדינת ישראל עושה את זה באופן מערכתי, מסודר, וחשוב שגם הניסיון שלנו יאומץ במדינות שונות בעולם.
In Israel there is a unique situation where there is a very good collaboration between the HCV Alliance, the liver doctors, and the government. And this cooperation, which is, I think it's unique, leads actually to moving the national plan for HCV treatment and screening.
And it's an example of how we deal with many topics on the agenda. I lead the opposition, but on this issue, actually, it's an issue that serves all the people in Israel. It has to do with the fact that it's extremely costly to treat hepatitis C, and we have to work together on finding ways and means of treating as many as possible in order to heal them from this disease.
The most important thing is to spread the word. Spread the word, because you don't know, maybe somewhere near you someone is infected and he doesn't know. I think all of the risk groups should get checked.
And now it's very simple to cure from it. But first of all, you have to know that you have it.
Even we don't do the screening here in Israel, what will happen? We predict that the cost of and the burden of the disease will increase, and patients will die for nothing, for no reasons. And as a physician, I think that if we have the facilities and we have the support for it, we should avoid it.
I want to ask to everyone to fight for the treatments, but to fight basic for our rights not to pass the disease to others and to be in a normal life. We have the right and we have to fight for them. And the system has the obligation to give us immediately. We will not wait. We cannot wait. One day we wait and other people are dying.
I think other countries, especially Western countries, they have also limitation regarding the budgets of how much do they want to expense on health issues, and they should go for it and try to analyze and have some planning and to consider it with the new treatments of hepatitis C.
We want a world without viral hepatitis.